process.
Equal pay has been a resounding theme surrounding the women's movement, not just in the U.S., but internationally. CBS's Vicki Barker says International Women's Day observations are underway around the globe.
In Argentina, thousands of women began the day banging pots and pans from balconies and sidewalks. German carrier Lufthansa has 6 all-female crews flying today. Iceland announced it's becoming the first nation to make employers prove they offer equal pay. And in Ireland, thousands of protesters blocked traffic in central Dublin, protesting the country's near-total ban on abortion. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
House Speaker Paul Ryan is defending the Republican leadership's plan to repeal and replace Obamacare amid criticism from some conservatives who are calling it Obamacare 2.0.
It repeals Obamacare's taxes. It repeals Obamacare's spending. It repeals Obamacare's mandates.
During a House Ways and Means Committee markup on the Obamacare replacement measure today, ranking member Massachusetts Democrat Richard Neal criticized that bill.
It repeals Obamacare's taxes. It repeals Obamacare's spending.
AARP, the American Medical Association, and the American Hospital Association all oppose this bill.
New research says risky behavior among teenagers peaks around the age of 19. That new study of more than 5,000 teens and young adults from 11 countries confirms all adolescent brains are prone to risk-taking.
The teenage brain is built so that they really want to seek sensation.
Psychologist Lisa Damour is a CBS News contributor.
What's important about this new research is that it shows that teenagers around the world all have these gawky brains where their impulses can get ahead of their controls. But teenagers around the world don't take risks at the same level.
Damour tells CBS This Morning that parents should keep an eye out for signs of such behavior as drinking and unprotected sex and keep the lines of communication open. In France, police investigating a bold crime that left a rare zoo animal dead. CBS News correspondent Charlie Daggett following the story from London.
His name was Vince, a white rhino, and he was only 4 years old. Investigators say he was shot 3 times in the head, his horn probably sawed off with a chainsaw. The attackers were determined. Zoo officials say the poachers forced open the main gate to the zoo and broke through at least 2 other security barriers.
Zoo officials are investigating along with French police. They say they have leads, but they've made no arrests. Just before the hour, the Dow is down 19 points, the S&P flat, and the Nasdaq showing a gain of 14 points to 58.48. This is CBS News.
Mass deportations, a ban on terrorist countries, protecting our border, a huge expansion of jobs. President Trump is really shaking up Washington and the media. David Horowitz's new book, Big Agenda, reveals Trump's secret plans. Now, Big Agenda is a New York Times bestseller. Newsmax calls it the best Trump book yet. Rush says you need to get it. It's in bookstores everywhere, or get our free offer at 800 Newsmax, 800 Newsmax, or BigAgenda411.com. That's BigAgenda411.com.
Do you have acne or even the occasional breakout? With prescription grade Proactive Plus, your acne can heal and you can prevent future breakouts. Try Proactive Plus 100% risk-free. Plus, get 2 free gifts and free shipping. Take it from me, Proactive really works. Get prescription grade Proactive Plus, their amazing skin purifying mask, and a second gift of your choice. Totally free and free shipping. You're guaranteed to get clear and stay clear, or you don't pay a penny. Call now, 800-281-8770. 800-281-8770.
This hour brought to you by Boondocks Firearms Training Academy. Enhanced carry, concealed carry, defensive handgun, rifle, and shotgun courses available. BoondocksFTA.com.
You're listening to 103.9 WYAB. I'm Jim Ford. We should see sunshine for the rest of the day today and tomorrow. Highs today low to mid-70s, upper 70s tomorrow. Partly cloudy tonight with lows in the low 50s. Investigators in Biloxi are still working to determine what exactly happened yesterday when a train hit a charter bus as it was crossing Main Street in that city. WLOX-TV reports 4 people have died and about 35 people had to be hospitalized. There were about 50 people on the bus that was from Austin. Biloxi Fire Chief Joe Boney said he was thankful for the assistance given by many, including clergy, who helped comfort the injured. There was a shooting yesterday evening in Jackson involving a police officer. The story from WABT said an accident was reported at Monument and Mill Streets. Police say the driver of one of the vehicles seemed to be drunk. There was a struggle between that man and the officer. The officer fired his weapon. The man was hit twice and had to be hospitalized. The officer is on paid leave until an investigation is complete. Voters in Rankin County approved a bond bill yesterday that would help upgrade classrooms and help build a new high school. The $178 million measure passed with 74% of the vote. Now, if you're a homeowner there, you'll soon see your property taxes go up about $50 per year on a $100,000 home. The county schools have been trying to cope with the increase in their student population. And if you owe the city of Jackson for a ticket or a fee, you have an opportunity to pay that without further penalty. The city's municipal court is offering an amnesty period for the rest of this month. You can go to the courtroom any weekday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. And that's the news for the hour. I'm Jim Thorne for 1039 WYAB.
It's time to take charge of your wallets and your future. Missing a minute can cost you big time. Prepare to save more, spend less, and avoid getting ripped off with Clark Howard.
You here on the Clark Howard Show, where it's about you learning ways to save more and spend less. And don't let anyone ever rip you off. We serve you at Clark.com. When you have a question, Clark.com/ask. Coming up in 20 minutes, I got to tell you something about our kids and what's leading to health problems in kids. It is today's Clarkrageous moment, because it's one of those areas where you and I can make the big difference. And in a half hour, new data out on the financial burden being held by senior citizens for kids and grandkids' college educations. The burdens are impoverishing senior citizens. I'm going to tell you what you need to know, and what you need to know is okay to say if your grandkid comes to you needing money for college. We're going to talk about that in just 30 minutes. I want to talk right now about how the smartphone is making us smarter when we look for a job. I was very impressed by an item I read in the New York Post about an app that applies for salespeople. It works well for people applying for a job, for any of a number of situations where knowing more about the individual you're going to meet with and talk to, interview with, try to make a sales presentation to, knowing more about them is key. It's called Accompany, ACCOMPANY, and it gives you like a profile on an individual. So if you download the Accompany app, you're able to learn things that are going to give that sense of commonality. When you start talking to somebody, you don't want to fake it, but there are times in a presentation where, or in a job interview or whatever, that knowing more about that individual or the company they work for can really pay off for you. And so it's just a thought that I want you to have more control of the process. And if you go to the beta at accompany.com, you're going to have a briefing book that they're going to provide to you. And so you register with them. I'm looking, it looks like a very simple registration. And then you're on your way to the cheat sheets. And I like that. So I said that it was an app. It looks right now like it's actually a mobile site that you go to, and you have with you is that cheat sheet. Because commonality is so important. Building a bridge with somebody when you're meeting them, especially if one party or the other is nervous, you want to help let people relax. And talking to somebody about, hey, I saw that you went to the university or whatever. Congratulations on your basketball team or whatever it is. That you're able to build that connection. Now, let's go with the theme, though, of looking for a job. We have now a number of websites and apps we've talked about that you can see at Clark.com that when you are applying for a job, or if you're at a job and you just don't know, are you being paid fairly or not, you have the ability now for roughly about, maybe 2/3 of jobs out there to get a pretty accurate reading on whether you're being paid well or not for the job you have. I'll tell you, there's something that I gave as advice last year. If you have stayed at the same job through the trough of the Great Recession to today, and you may have gone through pay freezes, maybe even pay reductions at some point, there's a good chance that you were being underpaid based on what your skills would bring in the open marketplace. And it's just something you need to be aware of, that you may be being underpaid. And there are times that the pay is just good enough because where you work, they've been so good to you, you love the place, whatever. But there are other times you're like, I think I'm worth more. Go find out. What are you worth? Kelly's with us on the Clark Howard Show. Hello, Kelly.
Hi.
Kelly, how may I be of service to you?
Well, my dad listens to you all the time, so I figured if anyone could give me advice, it would be you. But I'm in my 4th semester of college, and I'm struggling to figure out how to pay to finish my bachelor's degree. I think I've tried pretty much every outlet, and I just don't have any more options, it feels like. I can't get any financial aid because my dad took out the lump sum when he retired, and it looks like he's making more than he actually is. And they refused to co-sign on a loan with me. And FAFSA didn't give me any financial aid. They only offered me $6,500 in student loans for the year. And my tuition is $28,000 a year. So I'm trying to figure out if there's...
28, is that a state school at 28, or is that a private university at 28?
It's out of state.
Ah. Okay. So are you thinking about dropping out or something?
Well, I was thinking about, I'll have my associates after this semester. I was thinking about going full-time, working full-time, and then trying to go to school part-time. Right now I work 30 hours a week in retail, and I have 6 classes last semester, 7 this semester.
What an ambitious person you are. You're a person after my own heart. You know, I went to college at night and worked full-time during the day for most of college.
Well, I have to thank my dad for my work ethic.
Well, that's great, and that's going to serve you well. You know, but you're beating your head against the wall at an out-of-state school paying tuition of $28,000 a year. Will you consider going back to where you're from and doing your junior and senior year at an in-state tuition state school?
Well, if I go in-state, well, I'm from Mississippi, so if I go back to in-state in Mississippi, in-state is still around $28,000 for me if I were to go to a state school.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Where I go to school in New York now, the tuition's really low because it's a public university. So my out-of-state here is the same as my in-state would be back home.
A Mississippi State University for a Mississippi resident is tuition of $28,000? That's crazy high.
I think it's around 24.
It's still, I mean, it's in the same ballpark.
Right.
So have you made friends with the financial aid director at the school?